for you to be excited to come, what needs to be happening in order for you to be excited to come?
We should have a say in education policy because it's our kids, it's our neighborhoods, they're our neighbors' children, they're our nieces, nephews, grandchildren. It makes a difference. When you have communities and families and parents and youth involved in some of the decision making in the schools, meaning we get input on the budget, we get to talk about what kind of programs work best for this school, because what works best for schools on the west side may not be the same programs that work best on the east side. But you let the community and the people in those schools decide that, because people know what they need. You get, I say 2 for 1. When people are involved, they feel a part of. They feel there's a sense of ownership that people feel. And so because of that, you just do more. I'm more inclined to volunteer, to really be concerned about the children in my school. I'm more inclined to be concerned about the surrounding community when I am weighing in on what happens there. And you get better involvement, and you get higher achievement.
5 years ago, Detroit schools were at their lowest point. The school district had been taken over by the state and run to the brink of bankruptcy. Hundreds of schools had closed in just a decade, leaving neighborhoods and families scarred. New charter schools were popping up all over the place, with little regulation or accountability. Academic outcomes were the worst in the country. In the midst of that, 482 Forward came together to organize parents, students, and community members to fight for change.
I have already had one child that graduated through this system. In 2013, he came out of a Detroit high school, traditional public high school. And we went through all the systems. We went through charter, we went through private, we did all of that. And unfortunately, in 2013, we were still overcrowded, complaining about books. Achievement was a big question. You name it. All kinds of things were out of whack. And that was 2013. And this is 2017, and I have a 12-year-old in the system. And unfortunately, in a lot of ways, as of a couple years ago, we were still saying the same things. So for me, I'm involved in this because if nothing changes, at least I'm just going to die trying.
482 Forward organizes committees of parents and students in neighborhoods across Detroit. They identify critical issues in their schools, research systemic solutions, and run strategic campaigns to push policymakers to implement those solutions. At the heart of 482 Forward is a commitment to lifting up and building power for unheard voices by equipping members with new skills in political analysis, research, and communications.
So 482 Forward has impacted my life by exposing me to so many different topics and different issues that I didn't even know existed within my city or my education. Throughout 482 Forward, I found out that we have a school board, and I found out that the problems in my school weren't the principal's faults or the teacher's faults. It was the legislators and the school board. So it kind of changed the way that I walked the hallways at school. When I remember freshman year, I would always be man, it's the principal's fault. We don't have books, and that we don't have resources. And when I came into the youth collective, it was no, it's not the teacher's fault or the principal's fault. It's the legislators. And that really opened my eyes, and it kind of made me when I'm walking the hallways now, it makes me want to send letters to legislators or go educate other students who always blame everything on the people inside the building.
They gave me a voice, and they were people that were there to listen to me when I felt like nobody else was. I went a long time without an English teacher my sophomore year in high school, and I also went a long time without a French teacher. I went a long time without a math teacher. And through all of those vacancies and the periods of time I wasn't learning, nobody in my school really cared. Nobody in my school did anything. They weren't there to listen. But 482 was always the group that was like, you know, you don't deserve this and there's something that you can do about it. And so they really opened my mind to the fact that I did have power in just being a student and being the person that was being affected. And so they really opened up the social justice world to me, and taught me that the things that I have to say, they matter, and that there's always some type of power that I'll have.
As a result of their organizing over the past 4 years, serious changes are already taking shape in Detroit schools. A $700 million legislative package pulled Detroit public schools back from bankruptcy and returned voting rights to Detroit citizens in school board elections. Higher standards have been imposed on charter authorizers. 50 schools that were threatened with closure have stayed open and instead have comprehensive improvement plans. Students in those schools are already on track to show academic gains.
I've seen how powerful 482 Forward could be. I've seen that they move so quickly, like they gathered people who volunteered from different programs and they made a whole organization out of it, motivated people to fight for the same cause, and we made a difference. You know, they passed the bill for education, and DPS is still here, or DPS CD, but it's still standing. They didn't close the 30 schools. They're out of debt. You know, we're moving forward. So they've impacted me that if I want something bad enough, I can do it. I just need to work hard at it and get more people, because you can't do everything by yourself if you don't have help.
Our work is only just beginning. Recent studies show that Michigan is underinvesting in its schools by as much as $3 billion a year. And nationally, the trend to privatize rather than support public education is still gaining steam.
An old lawmaker said a while ago, and I've always held on to this, it may be me today, but it's going to be you tomorrow. And I think we have to not think that because it's not at my doorstep, that I have no reason to be concerned and I'm okay. That may be the truth for right now, but believe me, it's coming down your way soon. And I just think when everyone has good things happening in education in particular, when everyone has good schools, when everyone has access, when everyone has access to quality education, when the systems work together, when folks are concerned about the actual welfare of the children, we all benefit. We all benefit.
Okay. Say it louder. Nerd.